Hi, my name is Jenna Lee from liveeatteach.com, and this channel is all about teaching online, building your own online teaching business, and becoming your own boss. And in this video, I will be showing you how to pass the new GoGokid interview. If you are watching this video and it is still the month of November in 2020, then you are in luck, because GoGokid is offering a $300 bonus for any new teacher signed on and hired during this month. One of the pros to working with GoGokid is that GoGokid's base pay is between $14 and $25 per hour, with most teachers making more than this with the additional incentives that GoGokid offers. Another pro is that GoGokid does not require a minimum hours, so it has a very flexible schedule. GoGokid also has a very interactive classroom. The kids always have something to do. And if you work for another ESL company, maybe like VIP Kid, working with GoGokid as a secondary company really breaks up the monotony of the day. One con to working with GoGokid is that it has a very confusing credit score incentive. This does become easier when you are working on the platform for a while, but it is very confusing when you are a new teacher. GoGokid is also different from VIP Kid in that it doesn't have any levels or certifications that you can choose to get. You get the levels that they offer, and then you teach any age student that you get booked with. One important thing to note is that your profile video and profile picture on GoGokid needs to be very clear, neat, professional, and engaging. So if you need any tips and tricks on that, you can click this profile video and I will go through the steps and process to making an engaging and interesting profile video. Now that GoGokid is hiring many new teachers and is very excited about expanding their platform, they have fast-tracked the interview process. So that is great news for you, as you won't have to do quite as much work and it will be much faster for you to get hired. They now only require one interview or mock lesson, as you may know if you've taught at an ESL company, which is much easier compared to getting hired at another ESL company as of right now. I will be showing you how to pass the GoGokid interview successfully in this video, so let's get started. When you first go onto the GoGokid website, there will be some basic information for you to fill out. After you fill out your basic information on the GoGokid teacher website, you will be invited to take the GoGokid interview. What you will want to do right away is sign up for an interview time slot. And right now there are so many available, so you can sign up for the one that best fits your schedule. This interview, or as I call it, mock lesson, takes about 15 minutes to complete. And the first 5 minutes is you explaining your teaching background and experience. The next 10 minutes is you teaching a mock lesson to an imaginary student. Due to copyright issues, I'm not allowed to show you the slides as I go through this. So if you have gotten this far with the process and are waiting to take the interview, then you can follow along with your own slides that you've downloaded from the GoGokid teacher portal. Additionally to this, if you would like any more help or have any more questions about this GoGokid hiring process, I offer one-on-one support and I give you some resources and props, some of which I will be using in this demo. So if you want any help from me, then my referral link is below. You can click on that, or you can email me at liveeatteach@gmail.com. So now let's get into the slides. Slides 1 and 2 are welcome slides, and sometimes you'll see this with the basic lessons on GoGokid. So you want to start on slide number 3. Make sure to tell them your full name, where you are from, your time zone, your educational background, and the type of ESL certification that you have. If you do not yet have an ESL certification, I have a link for one below. It's a TESOL certification for $19. Otherwise, GoGokid requires you to have either the TESOL, CELTA, or TEFL. Finally, GoGokid wants to hear about your offline or online teaching experience. And remember that this does not have to be formal classroom experience. If you have experience with tutoring or working with kids in another setting, then definitely play that up to GoGokid and really sell yourself in this. You don't want to tell GoGokid that, oh, I don't know how to do this, or, oh, I've never taught online before. Never say what you haven't done. Always say what you have experience with. Now, something that I find very special with GoGokid is that they care about asking you about what you would like your base pay to be. So I would aim higher with this. I would say, I believe I deserve a base pay of $10 because I have experience with teaching online for 2 years and teaching in the classroom for 4 years. Again, even if you don't have that formal experience, I would still aim high for a base pay, even $10. Because GoGokid will look at your video and they will judge how you taught the demo lesson and also what experience you do have, and then they will make a good decision. Slide number 5 is GoGokid's teaching tips for this lesson, and these are quite important, but to go over them during that interview is not very efficient, so I'm going to go over them with you right now. Their first tip for new teachers is to pace yourself and make sure that you are spending about 1 minute per slide. And something that really helped me when I was hiring on with GoGokid is that I took a cell phone and I had it off to the side, and I would put the timer on and glance back and forth to see if I was keeping in the limits of the time. So I would go about 1 minute per slide. In these tips, GoGokid also advises you to smile throughout the lesson, so show those teeth, and they also remind you to keep incidental language out. So this means you wouldn't tell the students, so we are going to do this now, right? You want to KISS, keep it simple, sweetheart, throughout the lesson, and make sure you're staying away from any extra language. Another one of GoGokid's tips is to use at least 2 props throughout the lesson, and personally I would use about 3 to 5 props. And you can definitely use a whiteboard or a puppet, or even some 2D props like Jack here. GoGokid also wants you to use a lot of TPR very effectively throughout the lesson. And if you don't know what TPR is, it is called Total Physical Response. So a few ways to use this throughout the lesson are to point your finger to your mouth as you are speaking for proper pronunciation. Cup your ear as you are listening to the student speak. And then you can also point to your face parts, as part of the lesson is on parts of the face. Tip number 6 is that GoGokid wants you to be very patient and offer a lot of guidance. So because you are teaching an imaginary student, it would look something like just waiting for the student to respond. So make sure you're waiting a few seconds for that response when you are listening to the student, and also to just be very bright and cheery and to smile. And a thumbs up goes a long way, and a good job goes a very long way as well. So they just are looking for that supportive nature. Keep in mind that GoGokid also wants you to use a secondary reward system on top of the magic crystals or gems that they have built in the lesson. So I will be using an app on my iPad, and I will be making a face with the student. The final 2 tips that GoGokid gives to you in this interview are to finish all the slides. So make sure that you are definitely finishing all the GoGokid slides in this demo, and to also give very positive error correction. So again, just being patient and being positive and offering a good job will go a long way in this. You want to be aware that in this lesson, GoGokid has these yellow cautionary triangles, and these will state something that the student is doing wrong that you must correct as a teacher. And GoGokid is going to be really looking for how you would handle this situation in a real live classroom. So make sure you are paying attention to those, and I will also go over what those say in the interview. Since there are so many interactive features, which makes it really fun for the students in GoGokid's classroom, I would definitely show up to your interview 30 minutes beforehand, and that's the earliest that you can get into your interview. So I would show up 30 minutes beforehand to practice all these functions. So slide 7 is our first teaching slide, and it is a welcome banner that says, "Hi and welcome to GoGokid." So on this slide, all you have to do is smile and wave. Slide number 8 is an introduction slide, and it says, "Hi, my name is." So I would go about it something like this. Hello. Hello. My name is Teacher Jenna. Jenna. Good job. What is your name? Very good. How old are you? And the student might not understand this, especially if they're very young. So you can say, "Are you 4? Are you 5? And sometimes the parent will chime in, but if not, just move on. The next part of this slide is the "I am happy." So this is when you ask, "How are you?" and teach them, "I am happy." So the way that I would go about this slide is I would first teach them the sentence frame because they may not know this already. So say, "I am happy." Very good. And now you say the question, "How are you?" Yay! So I would just be very clear about what you want them to say, and that's why I held up some fingers. Take a mental note here that you have to click on the slide 3 times before you can finish it. So during your practice beforehand, make sure that you are practicing this skill. You will also want to introduce your reward on this slide. So for my referrals, I have some cutouts of eyes and other face parts like mouths, and you can let the student choose, would you like a big mouth or a small mouth? Would you like 1 eye or would you like 2 eyes, right? Yeah, so you can definitely do that. But today I wanted to show you an app that I love to use in the classroom, and this is called the Emoji Maker. It is free. Don't know if you can see that, but I can definitely link it below in the description. So you will go in and it will show you a blank page, and then you can choose a color for your emoji body. So this is also great to practice how much the student knows. Maybe they know colors, maybe not. If they don't know colors, you can just choose one for the student. Right? Good. And then you can ask them about, do you want a big eye or small eyes? Right? So there's many things in this reward. It's really interesting. You can even practice feelings and emotions and see just how much the student knows. And I love this reward because it's so interactive, and I've never had a student that doesn't like this reward. This is how I would introduce the reward. When you do a good job, you will get a gem. And we will make a face. And just a little pointer, when you're ever using a phone or iPad for a reward or showing your student a picture, make sure it's tilted down to stay away from the light. See? Yeah, so this works a lot better. At this point, I would say, are you ready? And really get them pumped up. Yes? Let's go! Slide number 9 introduces the lesson by saying, what do you have? And it's just a title page, but I would definitely do something on this page and not just pass through it. Okay, so use it as a learning opportunity. Say, what do you see? And on this slide, there is Jack and a card, so I would use this to bring out Jack and say, Jack! Jack! I see Jack. Very good. Again, try to keep the student very excited about this lesson and keep them pumped up and keep your energy up, and remember to smile. Slide number 10 is your first vocabulary word, which is I, and it is a picture of Big Jack. So I would definitely use him if you have him as a prop. I. Yes. I. Very good. I. Good job. And on this slide, there's a yellow cautionary triangle, which means, which says that the student is mispronouncing the word I. So I would definitely pay attention to this and show that you are correcting the student's mistake. I. Very good. Nice job. After you have corrected the student's pronunciation, then you will click the slide and it will introduce you to the word eyes. So you want to make sure that you are exaggerating this and showing the student that it's now 2 eyes, right? So I would go like this. Eyes. Eyes. 1, 2. Eyes. Yes, very good. This is a good opportunity to reward the student. So you can pretend to click for the gem and say, you get a gem, woohoo! And would you like big eyes or small eyes? And if the student is younger, I would just give them eyes and not ask the choice, right? So I would just say, eyes. And the student can also respond. Guys, this app is so fun. I love it. Slide 11 is an interactive slide. So you will click the slide and Jack will be walking across to baby Uni. All right, and so this is now introducing the sentence frame. So Jack is going to ask Uni, what do you have? And to break it down just a little bit more, I would say, what do you have? Maybe show your fingers. What do you have? Yes, very good. You will then click the baby Uni, which looks like a little cracked egg with 2 eyes coming out, and you will lead the student in answering that question we just asked. So we would say, I have 2 eyes. Very good. There is a cautionary yellow triangle on this slide, and it says that the student repeats your question instead of repeating your answer. So the way that I would go about this is just take it really slow and break down the answer even more. And wait for the student to say, repeat exactly what you say. I have 2 eyes. I have 2 eyes. That's right. Good job. Once you have repeated this question and answer sentence frame with the student a few times, they are now ready to show off their abilities. So you will click the start button and they will get to speak into the microphone the full answer. Try to have a lot of fun with this and really encourage the student. They will get gems with this on the slide. So there's a lot of things going on that will really get them excited. This is another great opportunity to give your reward. So I would say, good job, you get a gem, woo-woo, and then pretend to click. And then you will give your face something more. Nose. Very good. Nose. Okay, so I had to run and get my flashcards. So slide 13 is introducing big A and small a. So you can have alphabet flashcards like this, or you can just write them on a whiteboard. And so if the student is not really responding well when you say big A, small a, then you can definitely get them acting out the actions. Big A, small a. Very good. And there's also a yellow cautionary triangle on this slide as well. And it says the student is distracted by a toy. So that's where the actions would really come in. And sometimes I even will sing or change my voice to get their attention. Sometimes being really quiet helps. Big A, big A, A. What I will sometimes do with a younger student, like around 3 through 5, is I will bring out a puppet. So you want to act surprised when you see the puppet. Hello! Hello! You can demonstrate the letter with the puppet. A. A. And then wait for the student. Yes. Big A. Big A. Very good. Okay, so let's move on. Slide 14 has 3 parts. You can ask, what letter is this? Good job. The second part is to show how to click the letter A. So what has helped me recently is when I switched from saying click with my mouse to now having a picture of touch on your tablet or iPad. So now I say click or touch. Good. And if the student is not understanding that, you can go close to the screen, touch, touch. Or you can bring out that A again, touch. Very good. The third part is the most challenging part I find in the classroom, and that is showing a young student how to trace the letter A on the screen. So the way I would do this is I could bring out the A again, and I could bring out the touch symbol and go, A, draw A. Or you can actually just write it down on your whiteboard to demonstrate. Look, A, big A, big A. Yes, very good. And at this point, if the student isn't understanding, the parent may join in to help them. After they have successfully traced the A or gotten very close, I would give them another reward. You get a gem. Click. Very good. And mouth. Mouth. Very good. Slide 15 is now reviewing and practicing that full question and answer sentence frame. So the what do you have? I have 2 eyes is what you are going to teach. Still use a lot of TPR for this, even though you have already taught the student. You can use that face that you made. What do you have? Good job! And after maybe 1 or 2 times reviewing this sentence frame, you can use the on stage function, which is one of the buttons that is in the student's camera, just around where the gem is. And you can use that to kind of spotlight the student. It will pull them front and center and just kind of be like they're on the stage and they're demonstrating what they have learned. Parents will love this as well. Because they just did an awesome job independently, definitely reward them after this. You get... You get... Bow! Bow! And have fun with this. And you get a gem! A gem! Good job! Good job! Whew! Okay, finally you are done with the hard part. Now, slide 16 is the song. And I always love the songs because they are super catchy and fun. And they are always pre-recorded. So I will do some TPR, maybe dance, sing along in the background. And I will also sometimes bring out my microphone prop and kind of go like this and back to me so the student feels like they're really being involved in the song as well. Finally, you are on the last slide, which is slide 17, and this is the goodbye slide. So all it says is goodbye, and how I always say goodbye to my students is I will say, I will see you next time. Sometimes I will get them to repeat what I said. Parents love to see that. Sometimes if I'm limited on time, I will just say, I will see you next time. Goodbye. Goodbye. And definitely make sure that the student knows goodbye. Sometimes I will also teach them thank you on this slide. So if you have any extra time, you can definitely go back to your reward and extend a little bit and review some of the other face parts. You can also extend by asking the question frame or teaching some other things like apple. But if you are over with the 10 minutes, then feel free to just sign off. After you have completed your interview, you should hear back within 2 to 3 days. And they will email you saying that you passed and that you can move forward with filling out your background check and uploading those certificates and your diploma. And that is all. All right, so this is the best part about interviewing and going through the hiring process with GoGokid right now during the month of November, because you will be done after this interview. So it's definitely worth the time to practice beforehand so that you can pass the interview. So again, if you would like any of my support or resources, definitely click my referral link below, or you can definitely email me in my email that's listed below. And if you thought this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want more useful tips and tricks to the online teaching world. I'll see you next time.